Hello, everybody. We're going to wait for everybody to pile in here, and then we'll get started. All right, looks like we've got most everyone here. Hope everybody's doing well. We're going to learn how to make games with Pico 8 today. So I've got a number of different things that we're going to cover, and we're going to start at the very beginning. We're going to assume you've never done this before. So those of you who have done this before, this will be a little bit of a refresher. And those of you who are brand new to coding, don't worry. We'll go through every step. I see everybody saying hello. Hello, Henry. Hello, Sophia. Hello, Shrishti. How's everyone doing? If I don't say your name correctly, you can feel free to correct me. I'm happy to try to get it right. At any time, if you have questions, just feel free to stop me. And because if you have a question, it's probably means someone else has a question too. So when you start up Pico 8, you should see this screen that you see over here where it says Pico 8, type help for help. If you don't, like maybe if you hit escape or something like that, you might see something like this. That's okay. If you hit escape again, it goes back to here. And if everybody's at this screen, hello, Renbeer, hello, Huntley, hello, Eli, hello, Ariana, hello. Oh, yes, you do get a license. There was a reminder email that was sent out a few times, directing you to send me an email, and if you didn't get that email, just tell me right now that you haven't gotten it, and we'll get some licenses sent out right now. But we wanted everybody to make sure that they had Pico 8 installed beforehand, so that we can get started here. So I see a few of you don't have it. That's okay. We'll get you licenses sent right now. I'm sending one of them at this moment. And so if you, here, I'm going to put it up on the screen. I'm going to, give me 1 second here, and I'll put this on the screen here. So this is my email address. Also, after the webinar, if you have questions, you can always send questions to that address, and I'll be happy to help you out. But that's where you'll send an email right now to get a code if you didn't already get a code, but you'll have to install Pico 8 once you get it. Okay, let me just go through the questions here. Milo, yes, I saw your mom email me. I emailed her back. And let me see. Sorry, we had a whole bunch of questions come in all at once, so I'm just going through all of them. Okay, so when you first start up Pico 8, you should see this screen here where it says Pico 8. You'll hear a sound that sounds like this. And that means you're first started up. If you don't have that screen, then, if you open it up and it takes up the entire screen, if you're on a PC or a Mac, hold down the Alt key and hit Enter. And that should make it not take up the whole screen. That's the first thing, because we want you to be able to see what I'm typing, but also be able to see Pico 8 at the same time. And then I'm just going to check and see, make sure we have everyone. Okay, 1 second here. We're going to, I'm going to give a few of you make sure everybody has a code. Second, I'm just getting codes sent out. One more code here. Hold on one second. Got a lot of screens up all at once right now. All right, I just sent out a few codes. Again, if you didn't get a code, you just need to send an email to that address, and you should get a code very soon here. Let me just check and make sure I'm caught up on the messages. Sylvester, so if you hit Alt-Enter, it should get it back to a small size instead of full screen. The answer to what address do you send to, that should be on the screen right now. It's dylanb@delphian.org. And all right, I'm going to send out another code. Now, once you have this installed, you're all set. So tomorrow you won't need anything different. It'll just be the same program. And we kind of knew that there would be a little bit of confusion at the start while everybody makes sure to get this installed, and that's okay. We'll still get through everything that we want to get through today. So if you're, so again, if you got it installed and what you see is this, that's okay. That's where you should be. You should be seeing something that looks like what you see on the screen next to me right now. Now, one thing that might help is if you make the webinar full screen, then if you take your Pico 8 screen and you put it like right over here, kind of right next to it, it's okay if you cover me up, that's fine with me. But if you put it right next to me, then you can have your screen over here, and then you'll be able to watch what I do here, and then you can type it in here. Because you don't really need to see my face, but you do need to hear my voice. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So if it's the same app and it looks something like this, Eli, is this what your screen looks like? If so, then all you have to do is hit escape and it starts back here. If you hit escape again, it just kind of goes back and forth between these modes, and we'll go over what these are in just a minute. This screen that's up on the screen right now, that's what you should see when you start up Pico 8, when you first load it. You'll hear a little ding sound like this, like here. Like you'll hear a sound like that, and it'll just start like this. And that's what happens when you first run Pico 8. All right, one sec. I'm going to send out a couple more codes here. One second. Okay, I'm just sending out one more code here. And if you have any problems getting this installed, let me know. All right, I think that we're caught up on the codes being sent out. So once you get to, once you enter in the code, you should be able to see, here, I'm gonna pull up what you'll see. I'm gonna pull up a web browser so you can see what I'm talking about here. So when you go and enter in the code, you may see something that looks kind of like this. And over on the side, if you click on your name and then click downloads, then you'll see all the downloads. And you can just choose Windows or Linux or Mac or Raspberry Pi, depending on what you're on. If you're on Windows, just click the installer. If you're on Mac, just click the zip, and that will get it for you. And that will start the download for you. All right, let me just check the questions here. Minji, 1 second. I'm gonna all right, Henry, give me 1 second. Henry, make sure you copy it exactly from the email. It should work. I'm going to send you a second code just in case. Okay. Okay. And then, sorry, I'm just going to try to catch up on the questions. Yes, if you want to make sprites while you wait, that is fine. Abhinav, if you sent me an email, I'll put the email address back up on the screen here. But if you send me an email to that address, I can send it right back to you. If you typed in help, that's okay. It doesn't do anything other than just loads this, and that's fine. If you want to really start from the beginning, you can type reboot, and that starts it back from the beginning. Okay, so yes, if you if it asks you, is this okay to run? Yes, it is okay to run. So go ahead and run it if it does ask you that. Okay, you download it, but you can't open the file. If you're downloading for the Mac, you just need to open up the zip file and drag the folder that's inside. Once you double click the zip file, drag the folder that's inside, drag it onto your desktop. And then in that folder, you'll find an app that you can run. And once you redeem the code, let me pull up the thing here again so you can see. Once you redeem the code, then you can just go over to the corner. Like if you're at this screen, once you redeem the code, the Pico 8 screen, then you just click on your name in the corner and click downloads. And then you'll end up at this screen. And that will allow you to download Pico 8. Trying to see if I got to everybody's questions here. We'll go over how to make sprites very soon. I just want to make sure everybody's up and running. If you loaded it and it loaded it full screen, hold down Alt and tap Enter, and it will make it not full screen. And that way you can see both the webinar and Pico 8 at the same time. Henry, if you put in the code, then you shouldn't need to pay for it. The code is for a free copy of it. You just have to go to the downloads page and download it. So I do want to make sure we get started and we actually have enough time to get going. Says there are no products found, and and this is after you put in the code. Sophia, I'm going to send you another code. Or actually, I think, I'm not sure what your email address is, so I'm not sure if I can. Hold on one second, Sophia. Hey, Rush, one second. I'm going to send you a code here. Once you've bought it, Henry, you have to go to the corner of the website and you click on your name and then click on downloads, and you'll see it right there where you can download it. You should see what's on the screen right now. Once you've created an account, again, just click on your name up in the corner and click on downloads, and then you'll get to the screen where you can download Pico 8, and it will be right there. The top right corner where it says your username. If you look on this screen here, so if you're at Pico 8's website, it looks like this, and then in the top corner, you just click on your name right here, and then click on downloads, and then it should load for you. If you're in full screen, hold down the Alt key and tap Enter, and that will take it out of full screen. So then you should be able to see both at the same time, both the webinar and this screen. We'll get started pretty soon here. I just want to make sure everybody's up and running. Sorry for the delay, everybody. Elia, what do you do once you get to the download updates page? You just have to pick, the download that works for your computer. Like if you're on Windows, click the installer. If you're on Mac, download the zip file. Henry, it should start a download, and then it's not a very big download, so it shouldn't take very long at all. Sophia, don't worry, we'll get you started here. Sophia, can you send an email to the address I'm putting up on the screen right now? And I'll just send you another code just to make sure. Minji, did you type in the code that you were given? Okay, so you have to click on the link that was in the email, and that will take you to the page where you can put in the code. After you've put in the code, then go to the download screen in the corner. I'll put up the web browser again. So if you're, say, here on the Pico 8 website, after you've created your account, if you click over here on your username, then you can click downloads, and that will bring you to this page. Sure, that's fine. You can send me an email from a different account. That's okay with me. So just to get I just want to get a sense of how many people we have up and running. Raise your hand in the webinar if you are up with Pico 8 and ready to go. Great, this is good to see. Lots of people. Okay, I just want to make sure, Henry, that's what the Pico 8 code that you were given is, so that you can create a Lexalawful account. Okay, so it looks like we have most everybody in here has it up and running. We just have a few people we're trying to get going here. Milo, if you go to the help screen, that's okay. Like here, I'll pull it up on the screen so you can see what it looks like. If you typed help, that's okay. It just shows you the information. It doesn't actually like put you in any mode or anything like that. It's you're just showing, it's just showing you some stuff waiting for you to do the next thing. So don't worry. I totally understand. I do want to get started, but I think it is important that we get everybody up and running. And don't worry, I'll make sure that we can get through what we're trying to get through. Even if we don't have time today, we absolutely will make sure we get through everything. Great. Okay, let me check my email and make sure. Okay. Minji, I'm sending you a code right now. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, Minji, I sent you a code. You should get it any second now. We're going to be ending, I think, at 2:15. If we go a few minutes over, that's okay. We'll also be doing this tomorrow and the day after that. So don't worry, we'll make sure everybody gets up and running. So again, if you are up and running, go ahead and raise your hand in the webinar, and that way I can keep track of everybody who is good to go. Oh, I have a few more codes to send out. Let me just send those out real quick here, and then I promise the rest of these classes will make up for all of this delay. I really apologize for this delay. We did want everybody to get up and running before the class, which is why we wanted everybody to get a code before the class, but that's okay because some things like this just take a little extra work, and that's fine. Game development has lots of different challenges, and some of the challenges of game development is just getting all your tools up and running. Any of you who have parents that work with computers will know that that is really true, is just getting up and running sometimes can be the most work. Let's see, 1 second. If yours doesn't show the icons on the top of the screen, that's okay. It doesn't have to be full screen, Cassidy. If you hit Alt-Enter, it will take it out of full screen. Okay, good. Again, so one more round. If you have Pico 8 up and running, raise your hand in the webinar. Sophia, we'll extend the class a little bit today just by a few minutes, but again, we're also going to be doing this class tomorrow and the day after. So we'll make sure nobody misses anything. And Sophia, did you send me an email? I thought I sent you one back. I'm going to put my email address up on the screen one more time, just in case anybody needs to send me an email. So if you haven't sent me an email to that address, go ahead and send it to me, and I'll make sure you get a code. Sophia, I did send a code, and it went 2 minutes ago. So double check and make sure. Minji, what type of computer do you have? Great, good, Sophia. Glad to hear it. Thank you, VS. I appreciate it. I think I'm good, but it's always good to get more. All right, I think we're going to get started in just a minute here. Minji, you should be able to use the Windows installer. Yes, Patrick, we will get started in just a second here. I do apologize for the delay. I just want to make sure people are up and running so that we can make sure everybody on, I'm just answering a question about getting the code. The link in the email is where you can redeem the code. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get started. I'm just going to show everybody around Pico 8. And I don't want you to worry if you don't have Pico 8 up and running, because you're not going to miss anything. For one thing, I'm just going to show you on the screen different parts of Pico 8 right now. And then if you have any questions or if you need help getting Pico 8 up and running, then I will help you get it all up and running between now and tomorrow. So if you send me an email to the address you see on the screen, and you don't have it up and running, Sophia, the key is the one that was sent in the email. So if you don't have it up and running, I don't want you to worry, because we'll get you up and running so that tomorrow you will be all ready to go. And I'll help you even after this webinar ends. If you send an email address or send an email to that email address, then I will help you. Well, Ariana, I would like to code something, but right now we kind of just need to get started so I can show you around Pico 8 so that we can start coding something. So let's at least get started with that. So if you started up Pico 8 and it looks like this right here, or if you typed help and it looks like this, that's okay. If you hit the escape key, it goes to this mode. And what this is where you're going to be typing code for your game. And if you hit escape again, you'll see it goes back here. And this mode right here is where you can type in things like save or load or run. So for instance, if I want to save this game, I would type in save neat game, and I would hit enter, and it would save it. Great. And then if, let's say I started back up, let's say I started back up again and I type load neat game, it would load it back up. So that's what this thing is for. We'll go through this part later tomorrow, but if you hit escape and it goes into this mode, then, I'm so sorry. You can't see. I really apologize. That's my fault. Okay, I'm gonna start again. Sorry about that. That's my fault. I forgot to look at my other screen to see what you see. Okay, so if you started here and you just start off brand new, then that's fine. If you typed in help and you see this, that's fine too. This is just a mode where all you can, where it just lets you type in commands. So if I type in save neat game, I already typed it in, so it says, oh, you want to overwrite that? And I say, yes, that's fine. That's where you would type in save, or if I want to save cool game, there it would save it. And then let's say you start back up tomorrow and you want to load that back up, you would type load cool game. And we'll learn how to use this more later. But I just want to tell you, this is where you can type in things that you want Pico 8 to do, like saving and loading. And then if you hit escape, it goes to this screen. If you hit escape again, it goes back out. And if you hit escape again, it goes back in. And so if you just hit escape, you can see it goes back in and out. Now, Pico 8 has 5 different modes that you can have it in. This is where you type in code. And this is where, this is, Sophia, right after this, I will help you get it installed, okay? I will also put up my phone number at the end of this, so if you need to call, you can always call me and in my office, and I will help you walk you through it. So this is where you'll, but for now we can just watch. Right now it's just, we'll just watch, and this is, even if you don't have Pico 8 running, you'll still be able to follow along. So this is where we'll type in all the code. And sometimes you need more pages of code, so you can click the little plus here and it adds another page of code. This next one, little monster head, if you click that, that's where we make all the art for our games. And we have these colors available, and you can draw whatever you want here. So let's say we want to draw like a, you know, or let's see, let's draw like a smiley face. So we'll draw it in yellow. We'll draw a quick little smiley face here. And then we'll fill it in. We also have a paint bucket tool over here if you want to fill in real fast. We'll add some eyes and smiley little mouth, maybe some shine on the top of his head, and then add some shadow, and that looks pretty cool. So there we have a smiley face. So this is where we'll make all the art for the game. And you'll see there's, you know, spots for all the different art, and we'll learn how to use this later. But this is where we make the art that we'll have for our game. Then over here, this is where we'll make maps for our game. And again, we'll see how to use all this, but you can make maps for your game from this screen. And then over here, this is where we make sound for the game. And when we make sound, it's really easy. You just have these different sounds that you can use, and then you just draw it on the screen like this, like watch. And if I hit space, you can hear what it sounds like. Or I can use like this sound. And we make lots of different sounds. And you can do things like make it slower with here, or we can make it fast, or you can do like, if I want to make an explosion sound, I can make that. There's lots of different types of sounds, and we'll learn how to use that too. Then over here, this is where you can use to make music. Now, we're not going to get into making music in this webinar just because it would take too long, and there's a lot to learn on how to do that. And especially if you're not very good at making music, you know, it can be a little tougher to use, but we are going to learn how to make sounds and add those to our game. And we're going to be making a map for our game because it's going to be a top-down adventure game, you know, like, you know, the old school Zelda games, you know, where you go around and you got to make it through different parts of the map and talk to different people and so forth. And so we'll make something like that. And then this is where we'll be making all the art, and this is where we'll be writing all the code. Does anybody have any questions so far? If you do, go ahead and ask. Now, one thing is the way this program, Pico 8, one of the reasons it's kind of nice is there's only a certain amount of screen space. You'll notice that it's a square, it's 128 pixels. Now, a pixel is one dot on the screen. So there's 128 pixels across and 128 pixels down. We have 16 colors we can choose from. There are, you know, a certain amount of map space that we can use. Now, I'm going to zoom out with my mouse wheel, and like you can see, like, let's say we drew a bunch of smiley faces. You can see when we zoom in, we're using smiley faces for our map. This is a really odd looking map. Don't worry, we won't make a map like this. We'll make a much better map. But you can see if I zoom out, you can see we have a lot of space available to make a map in. So it's not just what you see on the screen. We'll have a lot of space that we can make stuff in. And we'll be making way better maps than just full of smiley faces too. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap up right now just for today. I know, unfortunately, we didn't really get into what we wanted to, and that's okay. I did want to make sure as many people got up and running with Pico 8 as we could. But just know that there is a lot to learn, but we'll have time to go through it. And anything we don't do, I have materials that will help you get through anything we don't make it through. Either way, you will have a game that you're done with by the end of this. And plus, now you have Pico 8. And once you have Pico 8, there's a lot of things that you can do. And I'll show you a couple of those things right now. So if you hit escape, you can type in Splore, S-P-L-O-R-E. And if you type in Splore, it loads up other games that people have made in Pico 8. And the cool thing is you can just load those games and run them. So for example, these are some games that people I know have made. And so like here's one, if I hit enter and I can click run, then it just loads it. And there it is on the screen. And if I hit X, I can play it, and you can see I can play this. And if I hit escape, and I hit exit, I can go back and pick a different game. Or now that it's loaded, if I hit escape again, here's all the code they used for this game. And here's all the art they used. And here's the maps. And here's the sounds. And they don't have any music, so there's no music. But let's say I wanted to make a change to this. Let's say I want to change this map, and I want to say, well, let's put a couple more baubles here and make this, you know, even cooler. Now, if I hit Control R or Command R if you're on a Mac and run it, when we go to the first level, look, now the first level is different. We just edited someone else's game. And that's one of the reasons I like Pico 8 is because you can make changes to not just your game, but you can make changes to other people's game and see how they made their games. And that's kind of cool because you don't always get to do that. Like if you're playing something like Minecraft, you don't get to just like hit escape and go look at how to make Minecraft. It's not quite that easy. But in here you can. So if you want to restart Pico 8, you type reboot, and that will, and it says, oh, there's unsaved changes. That's okay. And I'll say yes, and it just reboots. And then it starts back up fresh, and we'll be ready to go for tomorrow. And if you can get to this screen, that's all you need, is just being able to get to this screen, and you'll be good. So just a last recap. So this is where we'll be typing in code. This is where we'll be making the art. And this is where we'll make the map. And this is where we'll make the sounds. And between now and tomorrow, feel free to play around with the sounds, making different sounds. You hit space, it will play it. And then you can try different instruments and see what things look like. Like for example, let's say, oh yeah, this part down here, this changes the volume. So if I want it to be really quiet, I can make it really quiet. But if I want it really loud, I can make it really loud. And then I'll show you a really quick example. I'm gonna make these all quiet to start back. This is kind of cool. So I'm gonna move this, I'm gonna click the speed till it gets to about 4. And then I'm gonna use this first instrument. I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna go one space over and click here, here, oops, and make 4 or 5 of these that are all exactly the same. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the sound for these and I'm gonna make it get quieter, 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 quieter. Now, if I hit space, listen, your coin sound, just like you hear like in Mario games. So it is pretty easy to make sounds. You just gotta play around with it. So between now and tomorrow, feel free to play around making sounds. Feel free to go into this part where you can edit. These are called sprites, is the pieces of art that are in your game. And we're gonna be making some sprites tomorrow, but feel free to play around with this and, you know, practice drawing some stuff and see if you can make some stuff that you like. Like this might be like a little orange skull guy for maybe some kind of game. All right, so I will see you tomorrow. If you have any questions, I'm gonna put my email address back on the screen. If you still don't have Pico 8 up and running, I want you to send me an email and I will get in touch with you and we will make sure that you're up and running before tomorrow. Does that sound good? Any other questions? Okay. Well, I think we're going to end off now. And I will see you all tomorrow at the same time. But again, tomorrow we're going to just get right started. So if you haven't gotten up and running with Pico 8, you have to make sure you email me so that we can get you up and running so we can just start immediately tomorrow at 1:30. Sound good? All right, everybody. You're welcome, Cassidy.